here with the Alliance for Community Services and the Northside Action for Justice. We are protesting today to fight corporate greed. These big banks are taking all our money, our human services aren't being covered, social service agencies are going out of business, people are getting homeless, it's ridiculous. It's got to stop now.
Healthcare is a human right.
Together we will win this fight.
Healthcare is a human right.
Together we will win this fight.
Healthcare is a human right.
Together we will win this fight.
We're facing a crisis in our state. People with disabilities, people low income are suffering because we have a political climate that has been taken over by the big banks, by the billionaires, and we won't put up with that. It's time for us to fight back. On the eve of the State of the State address, when our governor is going to put out his version of the state, we want to make sure that the rest of the state, the 99%, are actually listened to and heard. We need priorities that put people first, people before profits, and that's why we're out here protesting.
Healthcare is a human right.
Together we will win this fight.
Healthcare is a human right.
Together we will win this fight.
I want to say that it's mighty cold out here. It's probably going to be just as cold once Rauner's budget cuts come through and starts affecting public schools and a lot of the health services these people need. Corporate greed is not the way to go with Rauner's budget cuts. It's going to be cutting a lot of people off. And as cold as it is today, that's how cold Rauner's budget cuts are going to be. So you have to listen up, and people get on their board and start calling Rauner's, telling them that this is not shouldn't be happening at all to these people. And there's a lot of health crisis going to be end up having affecting a lot of people with health care. So thank you.
Banks got bailed out, we got sold out.
Banks got bailed out,
We got sold out. Banks got bailed out.
we got sold out.
Banks got bailed out.
We got sold out.
Banks got bailed out.
We got sold out.
Banks got bailed out.
We got sold out.
Banks got bailed out.
We got sold out.
Well, we know what he has to say, same thing he's been saying for a long time. He's promised us more of the same. He's been cutting services. He's been closing social service facilities. He's been squeezing workers and consumers. That's what he plans to continue to do. So we're here ahead of time to make sure the voices of the rest of us, besides the big banks and the billionaires, are heard in the mix. Rauner came into town saying he wanted to shake up Springfield. Well, it was kind of a shake, rattle, and roll. He shook the money tree and handed it over to the rich. He rattled people with disabilities, took away stability in health care, and he rolled over the rest of us. Well, we're not going to put up with that. We are organizing, we're fighting back.
Healthcare is a human right.
Together we will win this fight.
Healthcare is a human right.
Together we will win this fight.
Healthcare is a human right.
Together we will win this fight.
Healthcare is a human right.
Together we will win this fight.
Well, we know what he has to say, same thing he's been saying for a long time. He's promised us more of the same. He's been cutting services. He's been closing social service facilities. He's been squeezing workers and consumers. That's what he plans to continue to do. So we're here ahead of time to make sure the voices of the rest of us, besides the big banks and the billionaires, are heard in the mix. Rauner came into town saying he wanted to shake up Springfield. Well, it was kind of a shake, rattle, and roll. He shook the money tree and handed it over to the rich. He rattled people with disabilities, took away stability in health care, and he rolled over the rest of us. Well, we're not going to put up with that. We are organizing, we're fighting back. Elijah Edwards, Vice President of ASPE Local 2858 and an employee of the State Department of Human Services.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you all for braving this cold weather, because one thing the banksters don't have is blood, so we pretty much be in good company. So when it comes to the issue about human services, the governor has cut services for those that are in need, has cut vital services to those that want to remain independent living, and as a caseworker I can attest to how much these services are vital to the functionality of the state, how much services are necessary to maintain stability of society. And unfortunately, we have a governor in this state who rather give $12 million a year annually to big banks that already profit billions. Last time I checked, they don't have to worry about having to make payment for bills and things of that such. But unfortunately, our tax dollars are what's being underwritten for their profits, and that needs to stop. We need to tell the governor of this state to get up off his butt and govern for once, instead of pushing through an agenda that hurts the working class, that hurts the people of this state who rely on me as a caseworker and the people that I work with as state employees to function and do our jobs, because we're proud public servants. But unfortunately, this governor is a member of the 1% and the billionaire class. And so he stands with them. Bank of America stands with him. Citibank stands with him. And all of the other capitalists who turn human services into a profit-driven venture. And that needs to end, and it starts here today with us. It starts tomorrow. It starts every day until we get the services we need, the health care we need, the single-payer system we need, the progressive tax system we need, because we are a free society. We're a society that everyone is included, because every life has value, not just a profit margin. Thank you.
Wow. Yes.
Just as an example of the false narrative that he puts forth, they always claim they have no choice but to cut. But just one example, this year, $68 million the state will be paying out to the big banks in these toxic swaps. Fancy schmancy interest rate deals that they manipulated, and we the taxpayers, are paying Bank of America and the rest of them, instead of paying for Medicaid, instead of paying for more caseworkers, instead of paying for decent human services in our communities. So we are now going to go in to visit the local branch here of Bank of America and request that they pass on a message to Tim Maloney, the president of Bank of America, Illinois. So let's all go in and say hello.
We're standing at the southwest corner of Lawrence and Broadway on Chicago's North Side, in front of Bank of America. Okay.
We want the manager.
Where protesters are gathered to protest budget cuts proposed by Governor Bruce Rauner. They're trying to gain access to the Bank of America in order to deliver a message to the chairman of Bank of America, but so far they're being blocked from entry, even though the lobby of a bank is a public access point. There are about 40 or 50 people behind me, many of them disabled people, and the temperature is in the 20s, but they are standing firm in their demand to be let inside and be heard. This followed speeches by several of their members outlining the cuts that would hurt the disabled very badly and demanding that the cuts be proposed. The protest continues behind me.
Have you looked at your door? It's incorrect.
The crowd around the door is growing denser, and the mood is definitely growing hotter.
Banks got bailed out. We got sold out. Banks got bailed out. We got sold out. Banks got bailed out. We got sold out. Banks got bailed out. We got sold out.
The chant is ongoing, and its temperature is definitely rising. So far, however, the protesters have not been able to gain access to the Bank of America lobby, but they are not giving up. None of them appear to be leaving. They appear to be continuing in their demand to make their voices heard.
We got sold out. Banks got bailed out. We got sold out.
Standing around me are several of the protesters.
Banks got bailed out.
May I ask you a few questions, please? Can you tell me why you're standing here in this terribly cold weather?
I'm a caseworker, and we provide services for disabled, for the most vulnerable of this state. And he's trying to make cuts to cut programs for the disabled and the most vulnerable of the state, and single mothers and all of that. And he's trying to cut our jobs, and yeah, he's trying to mess us around.
What are some of the programs that he wants to cut, and who would be most impacted amongst the disabled?
Endangered teens, autistic, a lot of single mother, the program that helps single mothers work.
And programs to aid autistic children?
Autistic children, yes.
Now, where are these people supposed to go if the service from the state is cut?
They have nowhere to go.
So they're left out as in the cold, so to speak.
Now, that's why we're out in the cold.
Which is why you're standing in the cold now, okay?
This is not right. What the governor is trying to do, cut all the human services, people with disabilities, people with needs, it's not right what he's doing. He's saying that we're broke, but, there has to be a way, and it seems to be that the governor is not willing to work with us, to work with the working class.
Are you yourself a disabled person?
I am not, but I work with many of them. As a human services caseworker, I come across a lot of people. I come across a lot of people every day that are disabled and depend on our vital services for their survival.
So even though you yourself are not disabled, you're standing out here in 20-degree weather.
Of course, this is important. This is, what he's trying to do will affect everyone, not just the disabled, but the entire state.
Do you have any ideas as to how the state might go about enhancing its revenues so that there'd be less pressure for budget cuts?
Certainly not what the governor is proposing right now. Certainly not by taking it off of the backs of the working class and the poor, pretty much. That's definitely not the way to do it.
Would you be in favor of something such as a tax increase on the top 5% of the income ladder?
Yeah, I think that would be a more viable solution, definitely more so than what he's trying to do.
Would you be in favor of some increase in taxes on large corporations?
Oh, definitely, absolutely. That's definitely, all the tax loopholes and all the stuff that the corporations get away with, all the handouts, the corporate welfare, it's got to stop. And it starts with people like us just being out here in the cold and letting them know that we're aware of what he's doing and we're not gonna put up with it.
Many people in the business world say that raising taxes on business or the wealthy will drive businesses away from the state. Do you agree with that?
I completely disagree. No.
And why do you disagree?
Because it's been done before, and that never happened, and they're just basing it. It's all scare tactics, pretty much.
You're not disabled. You're not a military veteran whose benefits are going to be cut, but you're out here nonetheless. Do I understand you correctly?
That is correct.
Okay. Now, do you have any ideas as to how the state might enhance its revenues so that there'd be less pressure for budget cuts?
There's a million ways. Okay, you want to start with what we're talking about here?
Let's start with what they're talking about
here. Los Angeles and other cities have gotten the money back. The banks told the government, in this case we're talking about the state, that if they do these wonderful financial deals, they would pay less in the long run. It turned out they were selling a very bad product, okay? Now other states and other cities have gone back and sued, and they've gotten money back, a much better deal. That would be a good place to start, okay? You want to go through everything? You want to talk about the city level? TIFs, okay?
What about the city level?
Basically, TIFs, every developer in the city, well, I guess I'm being filmed. Every developer in this city now wants money, taxpayer money, in order to build here. You go to the smallest development on the west side, to the big developments. There's one in uptown here in Montrose. They want taxpayer money in order to build in the city.
When you say they want taxpayer money from what source?
From property taxes.
And you think that property taxes could be kept where they are, but a larger share going to human services?
Of course, of course. It used to be that under our system, our political economic system, which is known as capitalism by everybody except for the newspapers, it used to be that if somebody wanted to put up Just Tires like across the street, they would go there, they would buy the land or buy the existing building, set up a business, and try to make profit. Now they're asking the city taxpayers through property taxes to give them the money in order to do it. Not all of it, let's be fair, maybe $5 million in a $30 million project. Okay. This is all information, by the way, you can get off the internet, just go to the city sites. All right, so they want the city money so they can make profit. That makes no sense to me. Why wouldn't they go back to the way it was like 15 years ago and put out their own money?
So those who are going to attempt to make a profit should take the risk of advancing their own capital, not the state's capital. Is that your message?
That's Adam Smith from the beginning. That's what they claim they're doing, and they're not.
So you're quoting Adam Smith, the ultimate authority on capitalism.
Quoted Adam Smith. It's really, I'm laughing because I've gone to a couple of these hearings, and you have these very wealthy developers putting up $100 million projects, and they say they can't capitalize it without the help of the city. They're the ones who are not doing what Adam Smith asked for. They want socialism for the rich and capitalism for the poor.
Why in particular do you think the protest is being held outside a branch of Bank of America amongst various banks?
I'm laughing because I think you're joking. The major banks have been ripping off everybody at every level. If you want to look at it in a certain framework, okay, talk about the parking meters. The banks waited until they got, this is all you can read in the reader what you're asking. The banks waited until they got their bailout money in order to do the negotiations for the parking meters. Then they turned around and they sold that asset to the Gulf sovereign funds. That's as in the oil companies in the countries. I mean, I'm laughing because it's a joke. They take our money, okay, they get bailed out, and then they use it as invest money. Instead of giving the money to them, they could have bailed out the city originally. That's happening every level. Bank of America got a huge bailout when they crashed, when the economy crashed in 2009. Now that they got that money, they went ahead and they loaned it to the cities. Now, isn't that kind of ridiculous? Why didn't we just get the money from the Federal Reserve or the federal government directly? I mean, they're the intermediary, and now they're making a ton of money, and now they have these really high toxic swaps using Federal Reserve money. They used to get it almost 0%, now it's 0.25. They're using our money, and then they loan it back to us at high rates, and then they make a lot of money off of it.
Would you be in favor of an increase in the tax rate on large corporations in Illinois?
Oh, that'd be a good starting point, wouldn't it?
What would you say to those who argue that an increase on taxes on corporations will drive businesses out of the state? What would you say to them?
We don't need you, motherfuckers.
And I think that was a very direct answer indeed. What about the idea?
What do we need them to do? What are they doing for us? People can organize their own workplaces. There's cooperatives. Look at the Madrigal example in northern, it's northern Spain. There's been cooperatives in the United States going back 150 years. No, thank you. Goodbye.
Would you be in favor of increasing taxes on the top 5 or 10% of the income ladder, private individuals who are at the highest tax bracket?
Sure. I mean, under you know this stuff. Under Eisenhower was 90%.
But we're not under Eisenhower now.
I know. He's a socialist, right?
Yes, Oliver. Thanks very much.
That's not fair.
Now, sure, just talk.
The demonstration here at the southwest corner of Lawrence and Broadway is continuing. The chanting is keeping up relentlessly. The mood of the crowd is definitely becoming more intense. They have still not been able to gain access to the Bank of America lobby, which is their direct target because of the fact that Bank of America's chairman has been a major figure in supporting Rauner and Rauner's policies.
In addition, as you heard one of our interviewees say, Bank of America was bailed out when it went bust in the great collapse of 2008-2009, is now making a great deal of profit, and, as many people feel, should pay it back to the state. So the protest here outside the Bank of America lobby continues, but it continues to be outside. Even though now, in addition to 20-degree weather, some snowflakes are beginning to come down, but the demonstration continues. The demonstrators will not give up.
Whose side are you on, my people? Whose side are you on?
We're on the people's side.
Whose side are you on, my people? Whose side are you on?
We're on the people's side. We're on the freedom side.
Whose side are you on, my people? Whose side are you on?
We're on the freedom side.
Whose side are you on, my people? Whose side are you on?
We're on the people's side.
Whose side are you on, my people? Whose side are you on?
We're on the people's side.
The demonstrators continue to use a mixture of chant, alternating with individual speakers. Many are carrying banners. None of them seem to be leaving. They apparently will not give up in their demand that proposed budget cuts to human services not be cut and that any cuts made be restored. Clearly, this was a very serious crowd. I'm Joel Margolis for ADAPT Productions of Chicago, the program produced by disabled people about the world of the disabled. Please join us again as we continue to cover events important to the lives of disabled people. And thank you for listening.